Hello, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 37 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Last time, we finished up the investigative portion of the first part of this episode. We broke Larry's Cyclops, discovered he has more Cyclops, much to Edward's chagrin, and we are now in court defending Iris with Francisca as the prosecutor. That's right, Franzie's back again. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Anyways, now we're just gonna continue on. The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that is completely illogical. Yes, exactly. We're entering Edward's logic domain. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Well, whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. All people lie! That is my belief! Even you, Francisca? I have daddy issues, Miles Edgeworth! I have daddy issues! Papa lied to me, Miles! He lied to you! I don't know who to believe in this world anymore, Miles! Miles Edgeworth? Why am I the one being whipped? The only one being whipped in here? Oh, what is wrong with my voice today? This is the issue when I start a new recording session. Anyways, neither the witness nor the defendant has any reason to lie. Which means, we must call your memory into question. Dear. You're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what I... A tour will strike you down, Canadian judge. He will deforest all of the maple trees. My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in the winter. I will remember your grave when I bury you under the snow. I will bury you under the tree where Teddy buried that necklace of poison. Oh my god! Then I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a bit more decisive pieces of evidence. What is wrong with you, CzarThwomp? Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. Normally that does the trick for me when I'm prosecuting. Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony, and let's return to the cross-examination. Okay. Had been at dinner. Boom! Objection. Witness, let me get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon warding hood, correct? Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wahaha! Wahaha! Wait a minute.
Objection!
Hold it right there! Why do you have that? Simple, Francisca, I'm here to screw your life over. That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, the defendant couldn't have been wearing this very hood. Well. It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. You do that on a regular basis, Edgeworth, when Phoenix goes about proposing his bluffs. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order in the court with this. Whoa! Sister, this hood, you have spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spare as well? I do tend to make too many of them. I see. A stockpile, a surplus of hoods, eh? Each man is only given one hood. Sorry, just ate lunch. Ugh, tasting my sandwich. This should be the only hood that Iris owned. Then this is quite strange. Whoa! If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There is no contradiction here. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't be getting away that easily. Discrepancies such as these will sow seeds in any human's heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I am not sure if I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. The seeds of doubt are starting to sprout in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. contradictory stimulation. And CzarThwomp, stop messing up my lines. I thought you actually respected me as a character. After my bath. I finished my bath around 11 and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and Iris was all mysticalist. And with that sword, all of things. Oh, what's wrong with me? Mysticalist was staying in the corner room, which faces into the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out the window. You saw a sorry, why is it going to Edward's way to the judge? You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in duel in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Please stop whipping Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma. I can't take any more of it. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoes. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyways, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? That is the way I was raised, Miles Edgeworth. You know that. Basically, for this one, you have to just go over to, basically, I believe you basically go here after she was pushed out the window, but we have Edgeworth, and Edgeworth has autopsy reports. You do not challenge Edgeworth when he has the autopsy report, because God help you, that is Edgeworth's greatest weapon, and you know it's especially over when Edgeworth updates the autopsy report. Edgeworth updates the autopsy report, the universe, it just starts collapsing in his favor. Impressive logic, that's what I'd like to say anyways. Oh, please do, my brain is something else, especially in the winter. However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report? The victim did indeed fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. That's right, it says after death right here. The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim here in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-story fall? A 10-foot fall? Oh, order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that's the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree? That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room, and then she was then thrown out of her window down to the courtyard below. And CzarThwomp, stop being so foolish and foolishly misinterpreting my lines. Were there any signs of a struggle in Mr. Snim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? No traces of blood were found in the victim's room. Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious play-off beard. However, if there was no blood in the room, then you can claim. How can you claim? Darn fast on Mac text. I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure your honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood. When it produces the most blood, very little blood is actually lost at the moment of the blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound. That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking. We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out the window with the sword still in place. This removes all the contradictions. Order! I must admit that this is a probable version of events. I'd expect no less from Franziska Von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. It seems that we need a clear testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the truth, please. Witness, please! Remain standing on the crate! I will murder you in your sleep. Don't go selling me short now. The weight of the winter snow has bent me out of shape. especially my back and my mood. Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. I will massage you with my whip. With the whip? Yes, exactly, Edgeworth. Edgeworth, you are my spirit animal. I actually forgot that line for a second. Oh boy, alright, alright. Further details. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I woke, Mystic Ami was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska Von Karma. Just ask your father. Oh wait, you can't. He's dead because he basically decided to kill my father. And I'm here to teach you just that. Hope you don't go in an elevator later, Edgeworth. Pressing time. At the time, was the victim bleeding? Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all of this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound. In any case, let's be clear about one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed? Okay? Think carefully, this is very important. It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body. It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? Sorry, just want to take a quick look over. Okay, sorry. That's right! Some of it has splattered onto Iris too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-fleckled clothes was neatly folded in the corner. What? Her clothes were blood-fleckled as well? That seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further? Press further. Silence is not golden. Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now, you say you saw the victim bleeding. Well, I say that what I saw was what I saw. What did you see? Maybe I didn't see the poor woman getting stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Pulling the sword out? Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like came out. Witness, you will add the statement to your testimony. Oh, was that important? Yes, it was. More important than you can imagine. Smoothly drawn out. Look at it. This is hardly a smooth blade. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here. What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen... Oh, darn it, getting some gas. Okay, there we go. The weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain your... Explain yourself! To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble! I too may appear to be weak and frail. But I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, so should I so choose. Oh my gosh, meanwhile probably Edgeworth in the back of his mind, he has like 1,000 one-liners, 1,000 snarky remarks that he could say right now. But just he can't because of one, there are just too many to choose from, and two, if he did, Francisco would live up to that promise very well and would make him weep. The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left the body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with the green sword. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction. You still got more? Of course I have more. I'm Miles motherfucking Edgeworth. This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust all the way up to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No! Order! Bravo, Miles Edgeworth! Sorry about that, I had bit of like a skin flap or such on my finger. Don't you hate when you get that? Just a slight bit of skin on your thumb that's just starting to peel off? Raising this main contradiction from a single piece of evidence, all the other attorneys I know could only maybe manage one, if that. And then Phoenix is like, am I a joke to you? But what does this all mean? You have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having gone this far, there can be only one answer. And that is, the weapon used to kill the victim was not the green sword. What? A foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was a murder weapon? Well, it's because Mystic Army was holding it. Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just so strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the green sword was the murder weapon. Order! Whoa! So maybe the green sword was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us to if a sword-like object was found. That's... Answer the question, Miss Von Karma. No evidence of that kind was found. Yeah, you can tell Francisca grew because, really, frankly, she would have, because in the olden days of Justice for All, she would have just forged a sword. She would have forged that evidence. Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast. Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was, it was just over there. What exactly are you going on about here? The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe. I think I might know where the sword disappeared to. You what? Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Impossible! What else? What else could this old woman have seen? I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks that indicate the snowmobile had been used. And so it begins. The hell that is this snowmobile? Don't even get me started on this thing. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all. Well, Iris can drive better than Phoenix. That's the sad part. Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time. Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back in my... excuse me. My age, you know. Quite. There were indeed some snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here's a photograph. A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and went all the way to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in the winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. Okay. Have to check. You are sure at the time? Yes, I was worried about it after it all. Why was that? Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night now, could I? So at 11, I decided to leave Hazakura Temple. Her estimation of the time is reliable, at least. Please continue, sister. You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct? Right, the one who trampled me. It seems she is the type to hold a grudge. Of course, she's from the Fae family. Granted, she's the Branch family, but she is a Fae nonetheless. Ergo, Bikini has to hold a grudge and basically pull out the demise of her enemies. That is pretty much the Fae credo, basically. I think, in fact, their seal is probably just... I wouldn't be surprised if their seal was just someone stabbing someone else in the back. Well, with one hand and holding a burger in the other. There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge. What was that bridge right now? Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him. He had forgotten it at home, apparently. What a naive boy, as always. I love how friends is, because she's like a naive boy. Not a naive fool. Phoenix has been upgraded from fool to boy. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand too. Anyways, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back, so I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. That's it, that's the only one we have. It ran no matter how much snow falls. Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived? Yes, of course, it was parked in front of the gate. So she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time. If I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? Press further. Never gonna hurt. I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at the time? What was that just now? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, eh? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. Ah, I see. I never thought of that. That's right. I overlooked that too. Of course you did. Then answer the question, please, witness. I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it. Snow? Yes, for some reason only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow. There wasn't any snow on it. Curses! It seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh? How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge by snowmobile? In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking. Ah, there's a reason for that. Have we got a moment for me to explain? I think that's why the question was asked in the first place. It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. This tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch. Crunch. I haven't been able to find the color to write anything since then. Anyways, the killer must have used it. Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for? Like I said, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile. I have to concede that it is not more than enough time. Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth? Okay. While it would have been possible, time-wise, one element remains out of place here. Oh, and what would this mystery element be? The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all this? Why go to Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods? Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Miss Von Karma? Ah! Turning to me for help over the slice thing. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor? What? She's as over the top as always. Anyways, whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth. Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. Now all I have to do is stop poking holes in this flawed account. Okay, this is one that I do get confused with. I think it's because this is the one that branches my snowmobile hate. Okay. Oh, come on. Aha! I think you have to present. Please tell me that's the weather report. No! That's a contradiction I have provided by this piece of evidence. It does? What do you mean? Forgive me, Your Honor, but you yourself said that it does. Don't try to play mind games with me. You're not a Jedi. You will give me my verdict. Curses! It appears I have yet to adjust to being on this side of the courtroom. Come on. Okay. Oh, come on. Yeah, basically, I know for a fact the weather report. Oh. Okay. Okay. I don't know weather data! Weather data! That statement contradicts the data provided by this piece of evidence. It does? How do you mean? Forgive me, Your Honor, but you yourself just said... Wait, why are they giving me the same thing? Why aren't they letting me speed through? Damn defense bench! Oh, come on. What is it? Damn snowmobile! This is the snowmobile one! Yes. Oh, come on. Okay. Well, they're data! Okay! You know what? I'm not going to have a repeat of the last trial. I am not. So, I think, as much as I don't want to do this, I'm going to end things off here. Because, basically, I want to make sure that I'm not getting really guilty. I'm going to find the answer, and then we can continue on with as if nothing happened. Anyways, I really appreciate that you're going to watch this episode. You're a great viewer. If you go back for the next one, if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, I'll see you later. Bye.